cool. Look at us go, Ray.
We're away. We've
Yeah,
hit
we are.
record. It's all happening now. It's gone from just a conversation to a real thing now, hasn't it?
Yep, we're going to be the biggest podcast in the world. I can already...
Yeah.
Millions are already listening with anticipation, aren't they?
10 episodes in, I reckon we top 10, right?
They'll be asking us to move to places, come to the studio. We're like, it's all happening. We're just going to have to drop our lives and start fresh, I guess.
Did you know, I actually heard a stat about this. So, like, of all the people that start podcasts, 3% make it to 20 episodes.
20? That doesn't even seem like that many episodes. Oh, I guess that's... I mean, if you're doing a weekly show, that is 20 weeks. Is 20 weeks a long time? That's a...
5 months?
How
Almost
long
half
in
a
your
year.
life, though, like, do you stick... Are you like a sticky person where you're just like...
Depends what I've been doing.
Oh, I guess so. But, I mean, but do you, like, stick... If you have your mindset on something, do you stick to it or do you just give up?
Nah, I'm pretty good at sticking to it.
Yeah, I guess
Just trying
am
to
too.
find a different way around it.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's
guess
not
I am
working.
too. Yeah. It depends on the thing, because if I'm motivated enough to do something, it's balls to the wall. Like, I will do everything to make that happen. But if I don't
Same.
care, it's dangerous. It's dangerous the amount I don't do if I don't care about something.
Oh, yeah. I can tell that with my work life.
Yeah, oh my god, I've only changed, like, jobs, and I guess it's kind of recent. In the last year, I've changed jobs, and, like, I thought I had no work ethic, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, it was just the environment that I was in, and now I'm like, oh, I can get anything done, which is crazy. It is crazy what your body and your mind can do when you're actually motivated to do something, because holy shit.
Yeah, my work, I've been there 9 years now, same job. So I can just phone it in by now. I'm just in autopilot whenever I go there and then forget about the place. I always say to my work colleagues, they're like, oh, I was thinking about this all night. And I'm like, I wasn't. Because if I didn't have my workplace's name written on my shirt, I wouldn't even remember where I work by the time I get home. I just forget about it.
I wish I was in that mindset. I am quite the obsessive kind of... I have, like, an obsessive personality where, like, I will live and breathe something all day, every day, again, if I care enough. And I guess I'm kind of like that, not always with my job, but I guess in a sense I kind of am. Like, I'm kind of, like, not constantly thinking about it, but it doesn't ever necessarily leave my brain, which is probably a little dangerous, but...
Yeah, I'm the same with things I actually care about, but I mean, you know, that's what life is, I guess. You got to be. So since it's our first episode, we should probably say our names, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Just to hear our dulcet tones.
I guess so. Well, my name is Josh. I don't really know how to, you know, when someone's like, what is some stuff about you? I don't really know.
What are your stats? What are your stats? Your age?
My age, my height, my Centrelink number. Like, you want everything. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my name is Josh. I don't really know what else to say. I guess we could probably say once you introduce yourself of how we kind of know each other.
Yeah, well, I'm Ray. Dad of one. Divorced. I know, I'm painting myself in a great picture right now. But
Big load of fun over here, Ray.
yeah. What a fun guy to be around.
But we know each other because of, well, weirdly enough, we've only only chatted properly like 1 or 2 times before right now, I guess. We know each other because of... We're not going to talk too much about sports, don't worry. I'm sure it will come up at some point. But we know each other because of our love for the Adelaide Crows, of course.
We do. We both love the Crows.
We do.
Both big Crows fans. And yeah, I reckon we first met, you came on to a podcast that I'm involved in to do a bit of a preview on one of the games we had coming up. So, and we got chatting then. So, and it's led to us doing what all white people do. Not all white people, but like we should record everything we say.
The people that do it are mostly white people.
Yeah, we should record everything we say all the time.
That seems like, and I'm sure everyone will love our opinions 100% of the time. To white males, they're going to love all of what we have to say all of the time. But I guess I don't know if that's the point of a podcast, but I guess kind of. I mean, it's for people to agree or disagree with you in some ways. I don't know. I don't really know. But that's how me and Ray know one another, is we know each other from football, really.
Football, yeah.
And we, for some reason, all the times that we've been to the football, we can never be at the football at the same freaking time.
No.
I've said to other people around me, I've been like, is Ray here today? And they're like, no. And I'm like, he was here last time when I wasn't here. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So we'll get there one day. I mean, it won't be, obviously, our season is dead. But we'll get there next year and we'll
the girls are playing now, so...
That's true. Go watch the girls.
Yes, I'm a big fan of women's sport in general, so,
I am too, so... and
equal rights for all.
Hey, yeah, exactly. But, I mean, to add to who I am as a person, I'm not a dad, I've never been married, and I'm having a good time, I guess. I mean, I'm in my late 20s, I'm becoming an old man, so I guess that's kind of fun. I mean, I guess I'm not in the age demographic that would be considered cool anymore. I'm older than that, so I think I'm out of it slightly.
I don't know. You're like late 20s, I'm early 30s, pushing mid-30s. It's like all perspective, right? Like when I was 12, I would have thought that my age now is really old, but now I'm like... Nah, it's not that old,
But even when you're 20, 30 seems like, oh, I'm never going to be 30. And now I'm 27, and I'm like, I'm 28 at the end of the year, and I'm like, oh, there's 2 years and I'm 30.
The worst one was, for me, Blink-182 got it really right. 23 was the worst age for me.
Nobody likes you when you're 23.
That's when everything changes. I had a friend tell me this one time, and I've never forgot it, that when you're 23... it's when you stop going to 21st and 18s and you start going to engagement parties and weddings and 30ths. That's when it all changes.
Whoa, I never really thought about it that way. I can't remember the last time I went to a 21st. Jesus.
Me either.
Oh, early 20s. They're like everyone thinks they're the most important years of your life. And I guess in some ways they are, but you don't know what you're doing. Like, I truly didn't know what the hell was going on until I feel like I'm kind of in my zone now where I kind of finally understand. I'm like, maybe this is what's important in life. Because when you're 20, you don't care about anything. You just want to get drunk and what am I doing on Saturday night? You know what I mean? That's all that really matters. Like, you don't care about your work. You don't care about, like, you just go day to day. And I guess there is some joy in living like that, but you do just hit a spot, don't you, where you're just like, wait a minute, slow down and let's actually see what life is offering.
Yeah, kids do that to you real quick as well. Well, not so much for me. I was sort of growing up a little bit beforehand, but I sort of travelled through my mid-20s, which was, I wish I had done it earlier. Because if I had started earlier than what I did, I would have been, gosh knows where.
Yeah, I mean, I've done we've all done stupid crap when we're in our early 20s. But, I mean, is that just living life? Is that just, I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting so deep and meaningful in life. But
20s are for regret.
Yeah, true. I regret a lot, but, I mean, I don't know. I've always kind of lived in are you a planner? Are you like, say if you go on a holiday, are you like we have to do this at this time? Like we have to run by a schedule or?
Depends. So I've done a couple of different types of holidays where I'm like, one time I only had like 3 weeks in Europe over Christmas. So it was like, we had to jam stuff in. So it was like plan it a little bit more. But if I've got time, it's like even like packing for that Europe trip, I left work at 5 and was leaving Adelaide at like 9 and I hadn't packed yet.
Oh, we are two very different people, Ray. I'm the opposite. I'm like, if I go away for a weekend, I'm packed by Tuesday. I'm like, nah. And I'm like, have I got everything? And then I'm driving and I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, did I pack that? Do I need all of those pairs of jeans? Like, I'm that person.
Nah, I'm very, like, so laid back about all that. I'm like, I'll pack on the day. Doesn't matter. What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, I would have a panic attack if I didn't do that kind of stuff. I hope that when I eventually, like, meet the person of my dreams, that they're, like, laid back and chill. So then we're not just two, just, like, trains, just, like, going high speed into one another. Because, oh, my God, that would be a nightmare. I truly don't want to ever find myself when I find my person, because that's just scary. But, yeah, I'm the opposite. I have to be... I'm not, like, strict... Say I'm not like, I have to be like, at 9 a.m. you have to be doing this, but I like to be prepared, or at least have some kind of an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I wish I had a bit more of that about me, but I'm just so laid back about most things. Depends especially what it is, but like, I mean, you got to, when I had a kid, then you've got to start planning stuff a little bit more, because they need other stuff, especially when they're babies.
Yeah.
You can't just pack up and go. You need to get nappies and change your clothes.
Well, I couldn't imagine, like, I've always been a person that's like, do I want children? Probably not. And, you know, just the life that I live, it's not like it's just going to happen one day. So, like, it's just, I don't know. I just could never get in that mindset of, like, I feel it from a way of responsibility. Like, you are responsible for that small lump. And you just have to make sure it's alive.
I was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, you know, I want a big family, like 3 or 4 kids. That'd be perfect. But I've had one, and that's enough.
Hell yeah. See?
I've got one. My partner, she has 3. So between the two of us, we've got 4. So that keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, they keep
all
you
boys
busy.
As well. She's
boy.
very outnumbered in this household. So...
That'd just be a crazy time.
It is. It's so crazy.
So much energy.
Yes.
I'm like, so you have all of that going on in your house, and I live by myself with a 10-year-old cat. I'm doing, it is like the opposite. It's just like, if I'm asleep, there's nothing else going on. Like, I can just do what I want. You know what I mean? There's some people always look at me when I'm like, they're like, oh, you live alone? Like, you don't want to live with someone else? I'm like, I'm so used to it at this point that unless I'm like, we're in a relationship with someone, I don't want people here all the time. I'm just doing my own thing, and I can kind of have people here as I please. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I've gotten so used to it now. I've done it for I used to live with roommates, and friends and money just is never a good combination. Like, it's just weird. Like, you're like asking them for like rent money, and it just gets like, you resent the person. So I'm like, screw this. Like, it's worth paying the extra I do for myself off one wage. So I'm just like, I'm just so used to it now. I don't know. Yeah. I never thought I'd be a person that would be okay to live on my own. I always was very dependent on having someone around me. But I've just gotten used to it. I don't know any different now. You know what I mean? Like, my last relationship and stuff like that, sure, I lived with them basically, but I don't really know any different other than that little bit of time.
No. See, I'm like the opposite. So my house is so crazy all the time. But not so much all the time. Like, we have nights where it's just me and my partner. But like next week when I go to Sydney for work, as we were just talking about before, it's going to be weird staying in a hotel room by myself, not, you know, no noise, very...
Yeah. You would probably find it, you would probably be like thinking of I could imagine thinking of nights where you're like, I just want a night alone where I'm just like, no, and then you actually get to it, you're like, oh, this is not probably what I expected it to be.
Yeah. So my son's at the point now, he was here last night, he's at the point where when he wakes up during the night, because they still do, he's 4, he gets me to come and lay in his bed with him.
Gotcha.
So then I'm sharing a single bed with a 4-year-old that's like kicking you and rolling around, and
that makes me I don't take this the wrong way, but that makes me just like I can do what I please, and I'm happy with that. I guess we could probably like why the hell are we doing this? I guess we should probably tell people like why are we really doing this? Like what? I guess it was me. I mean, you reached out to me, but I was just I used to do a podcast a long time ago that got semi-popular. Just life hit me and I just couldn't commit anymore, and it was just becoming too much. Talked about professional wrestling. Some people don't care about that. That's fine. I did it for about nearly 4 years, and then I kind of just stopped. And then I still do other forms of content, but I miss just speaking, like just what we're doing right now, just having a conversation and just kind of doing what I want. But, you know, I've always been based in that world, so I never really just got to talk about what I want. I mean, I dabbled in other things, but it never really stuck. Like, nothing ever really stuck. So I wanted just an outlet to just speak again, just to talk about whatever. And then I put something out on social media, and then I guess you can take it from here of where we went from there.
Yeah. So we've obviously spoken about wrestling. We both love wrestling, but you sort of said, you know, you were trying to get away from that, and then I sort of reached back and said that I'm looking for a career change, and radio and audio is sort of where I'm wanting to head. But everything that I do is sport-based. So I needed a bit of an outlet to try something different and not pigeonhole myself into sport generally. So here we are. We come up with the idea that soon we're going to be getting to a point where we hit a random number generator and pull out an icebreaker question. So as we've already discussed, we come from completely different places. So
yeah,
the answers are never going to be the same. I don't think this is going to be a podcast where everyone comes from the same view. And
no,
you know, the ones that are like, oh, yeah, I agree.
Echo chamber, yeah. It's not going to be an echo chamber of... And that's not to say we're going to have two drastically different opinions of the world and we're just like, this person's a piece of shit for reasons and I'm a piece of shit for reasons. It's not necessarily going to be that. We'll probably have a lot of stuff where we kind of have common ground in the middle. We just are two... Well, we're kind of... The beauty about this is that each week when you're hearing and learning about us as people, we're kind of learning about stuff about each other because we know each other on a surface level, and like, you know, there's some people you just click with more than others, and we've obviously have some form of a rapport already because we're just like, well, I just get along with you. But it's going to be very interesting because as you'll hear and as you'll know, if you know us, you know, from different backgrounds, whether you're listening from a completely, you know, just new world where you're like, who are these two guys, or you know one of us or know both of us. I have very strong opinions on things. I'm sure Ray has very strong opinions on things, and we just have different experiences in life. Like we've obviously, well, not obviously yet, but when you'll learn about us, we have led two very different lives, which is cool because I feel like too many things are just 2, 3, 4 people all kind of sharing the same experiences. And that's great. Like, I love holding hands and singing Kumbaya with people that have shared similar experiences to me. Sometimes there's nothing better than that feeling. But it's fun to, like, learn about people and not be dicks about it. You know what I mean? Like, so many people just are trying to be dicks just to be dicks to get a few clicks. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I definitely don't think by saying that we mean that we're going to butt heads, clash and argue about every question, because you should read some of these questions. There's nothing to argue about. Do you know what I mean? But it's going to give us an insight to who we are as people and hopefully be relatable at some point and give people a place to come and
hang out. We just want to hang out every Friday. That's what we're going to do, is just hang out for an hour or so every single week and just have a chit chat. Like, you just, you know, when you do in your backyard or something like that, when you're just like having a few beers with friends and you just like, let's just, I don't know, just talk about life and whatever that may mean. And also, if you know us from our backgrounds, trying to get to learn a little bit more. Like, you might only know Ray from, I heard him on the Crowjet, and now I know he likes the Crows, let's talk about football. You might only know me from football tweets or wrestling stuff or whatever it may be, or however you found me, or however you found Ray. Or if you know none of us, that's honestly perfect, because we
it's going to be an adventure.
Yeah, it's going to be an adventure to learn. But I know from my side of things, content-wise, I've done stuff since 2018, and again, a lot of it was based in wrestling, but a lot of people know me from Twitch, and they like to hang out from Twitch. I have a reasonable size following on TikTok, so a lot of people know me from just making really stupid TikToks, which I really do. So it's just cool to learn about us in a longer format than just seeing some words on a screen or seeing a 15-second TikTok or whatever it may be.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree. So what do you reckon we get into some to getting to know you questions that I've come up with?
Yeah.
Let's kick it off with, what's the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Do you want to go first? I feel like you have it in your brain.
I do have a pretty bad piece of advice. So my old stepdad, rest in peace, old mate. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know if you...
That made a joke out of it. Yeah, I don't know.
I shouldn't be laughing.
He said to me back in, I can't remember the year, but I was young. I would have been early teens. He said to me, don't worry about MP3s. Mini discs are the way of the future. MP3s aren't really going to catch on. Everyone will just have mini discs. Oh boy, that was wrong. Because now everything is in MP3 format or downloadable or streamable. And you've never seen a mini disc again in your life.
God, I don't even remember a mini disc, the ones, please correct me if I'm wrong, but a mini disc was the ones you use in a PSP, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So you used to be able to get music players with them in it, or like he was of the opinion that movies would start coming like that.
Oh my God.
So it was like, nah, don't get an MP3 player. They're going to be obsolete soon.
MP3 players, I had a Sony Walkman, or the Discman. I had a Discman, you know, the ones.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, you know, I'm going to go to the gym now and I'll just take my Discman. Where am I going to put that? Like,
I know.
I have had enough time putting my, like, basically the size of a freaking iPad of a phone in my pocket, let alone a Sony Discman. I had a Discman, though. I remember getting one for Christmas in, like, 2002, 2003, and being like, this is revolutionary. This is going to change my life. You know what I mean? And
then not being able to walk too fast with it or, like, run because the disc would skip.
Oh, my God. Do you remember any, like, CDs that you had specifically that remind you of a Discman? Because I do. I don't know if I should say what it is, but...
Oh, a CD that reminds me of a Discman. So, Discmans for me was sort of the end of primary school, start of... No, not even.
Mine was like start of... very beginning of primary school. Like, I was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, so it must have been like... Because I remember year 9 and 10 getting an MP3 player.
Ooh.
And that was like... I was massive into Good Charlotte, and like I was a fake emo kid. I was
same. We were the same teenager. I was like, I listened to My Chemical Romance. But
I was like,
don't
Simple
subscribe.
Plan and Fall Out Boy.
Yes, that's still what I listen to this day, Ray. That's just like my Spotify is just like that and Paramore and all of that kind of music.
I think actually the CD that reminds me of that time in my life would be Avril Lavigne, the Complicated album.
Yep. Skater Boy and My Happy Ending, all of that stuff. Avril. Yeah. Avril changed a lot of people's just lives, didn't she?
Yeah.
You know, there's a conspiracy theory that Avril Lavigne is dead and now it's a clone playing Avril.
You wouldn't believe this. I actually spoke about that with someone about an hour and 20 minutes ago.
You're surely not. What the hell?
Literally, Shout out Elodie from the project and all of our
I love
group
Elodie.
chat madness. We were literally talking about that before.
Holy shit. Yeah, my sister genuinely believes that that's true.
Yes. Yeah, she was saying that her brother was obsessed with it.
Yeah, there's evidence to say that it was. I don't think I subscribe to it, but there is a lot of, like, pretty intense evidence to be like, is this the same person?
Yeah, I know. But, oh well, she makes good music.
Good for her. My time, you're gonna be like, what the hell? My time with the Discman, what I remember is Delta Goodrum's Innocent Eyes.
Delta.
Her
I've heard
first
some
album.
good stories about her.
What is it with this country, by the way? Why like 90% of the people hate her?
No, mine are good stories. Like, she's
Okay,
a
that's
great
good.
person. Yeah, a friend of my dad's was involved in, like, Central Districts Football Club here in Adelaide. And her brother played for them, captained them, and he used to go to all the presentation nights. And one night she was there and everyone was sort of swarming her. And this guy, Dave, went up to her and was like, "Oh, I know you from somewhere." And she was like, "Yeah, of course you do." And he's like, "Oh, you're Trent Goodrum's sister." And she was like, "Huh?" And then he sort of had a laugh with her. And then, yeah, whenever she went to Centrals to watch him play or anything, she'd go find him and have a chat and how's
Hell
the
yeah.
family, how's the wife. Just a very nice person, apparently.
And a tall woman, by the way.
Yeah.
I think she's... I mean, I think a lot of people started to dislike her because of the voice. Because
Yeah.
she was on The Voice for so long and people just, for some reason, didn't like it. But yeah, Delta Goodrum's Innocent Eyes. Great album. When I was 8 years old, I apparently just loved Delta.
Yeah. So what's
what
your
I
worst
think.
bit of advice then?
I actually remember my grandpa telling me this. God rest his soul, actually, now that I think, like, where we're on that subject. But he told me not to drink water because there's water in everything else. And I remember, and he genuinely believed that. Mind you, by the time my grandpa was, like, in his 60s, he was drinking beer pretty much all day. But, like, he told me not to drink water because there's water in plenty of other things, so don't waste your time. And I still to this day think he genuinely believed that.
That is good stuff. What's your Mount Rushmore of music?
Oh,
Musicians, artists.
God,
And
it's hard because I want to just say when you think of Mount Rushmore, do you think it automatically thinks it's your 4 favorite, or do you think it's like what you think is the best?
No, your 4 favourite. This is your Mount Rushmore.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because
mine would change every single day.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess that could actually be. I'll let you go first again because I have 2, but I don't have the other 2.
So my first one on there remind me of my teenage years, and it's Blink-182.
I mean, who doesn't love Blink? Come on.
I know, and who doesn't love how crazy they went recently?
Yeah.
Who
Oh my
doesn't
God.
love a bit of alien conspiracy?
Yeah. I did see about all that stuff. But why not?
My number 2 and 3, you might not pick this about me from everything else you know, but basically my personality is a walking contradiction to itself. But I really love country music.
Really? Whoa. I did
Yeah.
not expect you. I thought you were going to be like Norwegian death metal or something like that. Country
No.
music. All right.
I love country music. Nashville, Tennessee is my favourite place I've ever been to in the world. Love it so much. So my number 2 Mount Rushmore would be Morgan Wallen.
Right.
And then 3 would be Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, I know Florida Georgia Line. Let's go.
But they hate each other now, so they're no longer
Oh.
a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Rest in peace, I guess.
Yeah, rest in peace, old mate. So those 2 and 3. And then the 4th one on my Mount Rushmore is going to be, again, a walking contradiction to myself. Taylor Swift. I freaking love Taylor.
You're a freaking T-Swizzle fan, are you? Let's go. Oh
Biggest.
my God. Would you call yourself a Swiftie?
100% I'd call myself to Swiftie.
So, are you going to Taylor Swift when she comes here next year, or could you not grab tickets?
I could not get tickets, but I'll
Did
tell
you
you a
try?
story. Yeah, of course I tried.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you a story. My ex-wife, her birthday was on the Taylor Swift concert when she last was here in Adelaide. It was her birthday. So I got scalped tickets for her birthday so that we could go. She wasn't even
Right.
into Taylor Swift.
You were just like, oh, this is for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Just
Taylor
like another
Swift.
Christmas, I bought her Crows memberships. I was
Right.
great at giving.
Right. Is this...
Yeah.
Listen. Keyword might be X in this one,
Yeah.
but we'll dive right past that. Taylor Swift, all right? I'm not a huge Taylor... Okay, let me rephrase. I'm a huge Taylor Swift stan for one album.
Okay.
1989.
Yeah, good album.
Best album, top to bottom, beautiful work. I love that album. She's releasing that Taylor's version in October. Can't wait. And I guess the Evermore album I like as well. I like the kind of acousticy vibe that she did with that.
See,
kind of
I
thing,
like
but-
old Taylor as well. I love old country
listen.
Taylor.
Yeah, because you're a country music fan, so you're gonna like.
Yeah.
Well, does that mean you like Shania Twain?
Yeah. Who doesn't
Okay.
like Shania Twain? But
Well-
not her, like, mainstream...
Oh, you're like
Man,
deep
I
tracks
feel
only.
like...
Okay,
yeah. I'm like a
you're
wanker when it comes to country music.
You're kind of like a country music snob. Like you're
Yeah,
like,
I am.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, that one was on the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Shania holds a place in my heart. Me and my mum used to listen to Shania Twain when I was a young kid, and I always loved From This Moment On. That's
Yeah.
a great Shania Twain song.
What a song. But
Me and my mum used to listen to Shania, so like I guess, but she's like pop country. I guess she's not
Yeah.
like country.
because there's nothing worse to me. Like, this is how much of a country music wanker I am. Like, do you remember that song, Body Like a Back Road by Sam Hunt?
Yes.
So that song came out on country radio about 6 or 7 months before it came out on mainstream radio.
Right.
So it was like, I'd heard it. It was one of those songs. I love Sam Hunt so much. And then it goes to, like, mainstream radio. It gets played every 2 hours on that. And it's like, killed it. You're like, no, this isn't what country music's about. This isn't about killing a song. So, yeah, that's what kind of country wanker I am.
That, you know what, that's completely... You're allowed to be a wanker on some things. When I talk about my Mount Rushmore, I will relate to you, and you'll be like, okay, we understand each other. Is that... You did 4, right. So,
Yeah, 4.
So, I don't think it's any surprise. There's literally a Paramore shirt right there. Paramore will always be my number one thing. I'm a Paramore snob. Like, they've just recently started headlining festivals, and I'm like, where was everyone 5 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm that person. Bit
I've
of a
been to-
gatekeeper.
I've been to 2 Paramore concerts in my life, and they were great.
They're
Hayley
great.
Williams
They're a great live act.
Hayley Williams was my childhood crush.
Hayley Williams is like, I am very attracted to men. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised about that knows me. I'm a very gay man, but Hayley Williams is my, like, one woman that I would just give it all up for. Like, there's just something about that lady that's just great. But they're a great live act. They're just the best to me. There's no one better. It's always, and it's, I think, not the only, but it's like the one piece of like my teenage years that have just never left me, and I've just kind of grown up as the band's grown up, because they're all relatively around, early 30s kind of age, so like we've all grown up together. So it's just something that I've always held on to. So Paramore will always be my number one. My number two, it will change all the time, but I just think for what I've gone through in my life, I will probably always put Lady Gaga as number 2, as much as I don't really like pop music. Gaga's
Lady
always
Gaga.
Lady Gaga. I just think it's more so what she represents to what, and I'm not just talking from a gay person point of view. She just says, she does a lot of things that people are like, what are you doing that for? But if you actually listen to what Lady Gaga talks about, she's very about like just being on an equal playing field for everybody and standing up for what you believe in. Even if I don't necessarily agree with everything she says, I think there's something in that. But her music too, I mean, who doesn't want to just get down to Poker Face? I mean, come on.
Well, come on. Yeah, exactly.
Gaga will always be in there. I think No Doubt is another band that I always gravitated towards. No Doubt we're just I don't know, especially, you know, when you think about the late 90s and that kind of era of music, I'm a big sucker for like 90s, like that grungy kind of, you know, era. Yeah. And No Doubt if you look at Spiderwebs, that album is just like, oh man. Yeah. And I know they kind of floated off a little bit later, but No Doubt to me are just always in that kind of upper echelon of just music to me. And I wouldn't even consider them like in my top tier of like, what they represent to me and stuff like that. It's just what they've done. And again, another great, I've never seen them live, but I think they would be a fun band to watch live.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of 90s grunge, one that was probably close to my Mount Rushmore, who I used to like as a kid, but then since I got older and reading the stories and hearing what was actually going on back then, Silverchair.
Oh, Silverchair! Great. Oh my god!
That guy went through it. Daniel Johns. To think he wrote that first album at 14.
That's crazy. Like, what were you doing at 14? I was like, you know, barely had hairs on my legs. You know what I mean? Like, that's a crazy age.
Yeah, some of the stuff. If anyone is interested in music backgrounds and stuff, listen to the Daniel Johns Story podcast. It's like a 5-part series.
I think I've listened to that before.
Some of the most tragic storytelling.
He's had a life. Like, if you ever think your life is hard, it's not. Yeah. it's not. And especially in the sense of he was in somewhat of a public limelight as well. You add that on top of it as well. It's like, we all knew that, like, he went through some stuff, but I don't think anyone realized how much stuff he actually went through, because it's confronting.
It is,
at least.
Very. Anyway, off that dark stuff. Who else is on your Mount Rushmore? So you've got...
I've got three. I've got
Paramore.
I've got Paramore, Gaga,
No Doubt.
I think number 4 for me, again, like you said, that fake emo kid. Bring Me the Horizon. I'll always love Bring Me the Horizon. I know if you listen to Bring Me the Horizon's music, it's just very like, I'm going to jump off a bridge. But, like, it has good chord progression.
Look, that's what the 2005 to 2010 was, right? It was the whingy, emo, punk pop.
Hell, yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, exactly. Sort of like, it was the best. Like, I used to listen to, like, Bring Me the Horizon, My Chemical Romance, like you said, Fall Out Boy. Did you ever hear of a band called Flyleaf?
No. My one was Kiss Chasey.
Oh my god, Kiss Chasey. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, I used to love Kiss Chasey, and funny story. So, my girlfriend and I both loved Kiss Chasey, and I reckon from like talking now, when we were like 18, 19, we were at the same concerts, but didn't know each other.
Did you ever go to, were you a big festival guy? Did you go to a lot of festivals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to ones. Soundwave.
Yeah, I used to be an absolute slut for Soundwave.
Me too. I seen Fozzy at Soundwave. It was a weird experience. Soundwave. I went to Laneway, which was kind of like a lot of indie music. I seen Lord. Yeah.
Did you ever get to go to a big day out?
No, I was too young. By the time they were ending, I was just hitting my stride, you know what I mean, where I could actually go to these things.
Big day out was a time.
Yeah, I remember that being advertised on Channel V.
Yeah,
Channel V. I know that was like... Does Channel V still exist? I have Foxtel, but I don't even know if it exists anymore.
I think in some form, not the same.
It used to have, like, shows and that on it. It wasn't just music, was it? It was all related to music.
It was hosted by Andrew G. of now Osher fame.
Yeah.
And James Mathelson.
Yeah. And Channel V, I remember... I don't know why I'm thinking of this. This is real. There was a presenter, a lady with, like, black hair. She was, like... I don't know. Was that her name?
Stein?
I believe that might have been her name. That sounds familiar, so sure. Let's just say it was her for argument's sake. But do you remember Metro Station?
Yeah. Shake, 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 shake it.
They announced that they were breaking up, and they advertised it on Channel V, and she was, like, standing there, like, with her hands together. She was like, Channel V is so sad to announce that Metro Station have broken up. And I, like, remember that for, like... So I have a brother that's 6.5 years older than me. So, you know, as a kid, all you want to do is hang out with your older brother, because you're like... Oh, hell yeah, he's, like, got his own PlayStation. I could sit in his room and watch him play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like, that was, like, a Saturday for me. But, like, he used to watch a lot of that stuff because there's a pretty distant age gap, especially when you're a kid. That's a pretty big age gap. So I used to just sit in there and watch Channel V, and, like, he used to watch Rage, and on, like, you know, like, Friday nights he would watch Rage on ABC, and, like...
Rage.
Yeah, video hits on a Saturday morning. There was nothing better, was there? But, like, I used to just get a lot of influence of music from him. So I think as, like, a 12, 13-year-old, when everyone else was listening, like, my age, was just listening to whatever was, like, on the radio, I was listening to a lot of bands that he was listening to. Like, I listened to a lot of, like, 3 Days Grace, and I listened to a lot of, like, Rise Against and Offspring and all of that kind of stuff just because he was. So, like, just by influence, I, like... went, and then I hit like 18, 19. I'm like, I don't want to listen to any of that anymore, and was just listening to whatever was, you know, playing at the Woolshed when I was there every week. But like, that's a very Adelaide reference for anyone listening to this from Adelaide. But then I just kind of zoned out, and I don't really listen to a lot of like, not being that mainstream guy, but a lot of like radio music anymore. I just don't. But I mean, I'm wearing a Hands Like Houses shirt now, and not everyone even going to know what that band is, mainly because they hate each other now. But they, why do so many bands hate one another now? But like that music to me is like cool. It's like just like I listen to a lot of alternative music, I guess.
Yeah, right. So next one, what's something that you do that other people thinks odd?
Oh God,
I've got so many.
The bane of my existence, I think, sometimes. Oh, I actually have one.
The thing that I do that people can't get behind, but I just do it because I like to do it, is I only put petrol into my car until I'm bored. So I'll go to the petrol station and I'll like start filling up my petrol tank, and as soon as I get a little bit of boredom strike, done. Hang the pump up and go and pay and get on with my life. So if I'm like really deep in thought about something, or I've got something on my mind, I might fill up the tank. But if I don't have anything on my mind, I might put $15 in. I might put $30 in. I might put 40. Doesn't matter.
Jesus.
And I never look at the Bowser while I'm doing it. So it's a surprise when I go in there. You just stand
there and you just... He's like, that's $70, and you're like, cool.
Yep. And then I get on with my life.
Whoa. I have truly never heard that. Never. I'm not judging you. You do you. But wow, I've never... Again, this is... I don't know if we're talking about this on record or off record, but I am so structured that I'm like, I have to... If it's 65, 68, I have to... You know what I mean? Like, that's... I mean, with petrol, I guess I'm like one of those just fill it up because I don't want to come here again for a while, I guess. But, oh, that is a very odd thing.
Yeah. You try explaining that as a 32-year-old, so a couple of years ago, to your mum and try not have her look disappointed.
Your mum would just look at you like, what the fuck is going on?
So it was like a summer day, took my son to the beach. And she was like, come in the car with us. And I was like, I need to stop and get petrol. Put petrol in. She's like, oh, did you really need to stop if you only had to put that much in? I was like, no, I got bored, so I just stopped. She's like, what?
Oh my God. Have you always done this?
Maybe the last 4 years, 5 years.
Gotcha. Right on. Good for you.
It's changed my life.
It would make you look at things differently, I guess, because you could be like, this is going to last me a day, or this is going to last me 2 weeks. I really don't know.
Who cares? Who's got time for worrying about that? Just get on with the rest of your life.
Hell yeah.
I'll just keep going.
I guess mine is semi-weird. I don't really think about it until you said, like, I guess some people would find this odd. So, where I live in the world, I won't give out my exact location, because some people are weird, but I live in an area that's like a bunch of small towns near one another. So there's like 3 main towns that are all like within 5-10 minutes driving distance of where I am. So I like to go for a run. I like to get outside. I'm that guy. But I've always lived for the majority of my life, out of these 3 towns, I've lived in one town majority of my life. Like, I've never moved to another. I've moved house, for rentals and stuff like that, but I've never moved to another town until recently. In the last 6 months, I moved to one of the other towns. But because I like to go for a run, I don't like the town that I'm in now, so I drive to the other town and park somewhere and go for a run in that town because I don't like this one. Is that...
Yeah, no,
I guess that is kind of weird to a certain degree. Because
I get it, though.
Yeah, because, like, I want to feel comfortable. And I know my route. I know where I'm going. Like, I do the same... I kind of like consistency in my life. So I like to do the same walk or run in the same place every time. So, like, when it come time that I had to move to this other town, I tried to walk. I tried to run in this town. I got halfway through. I'm like, I can't do this. This is so... I don't have any control of this. I don't know where I'm going. Like, So I now drive to run. And sometimes I go for a run early in the morning. So, like, I'm driving and just parking in the main street where there's no one, and then I just go for a run, get in my car, and drive home.
Yeah, no,
it's so
I get
much
that.
easier just to run from my house, but whatever.
I get that because when I moved south a couple of years ago, but I've always lived sort of northwest of Adelaide. So when I moved south for a couple of months, I would drive to northwest to do my shopping just because I knew those shops better.
But I get, like, anxiety over shit like that because I'm like, I don't know, like, when you're like, I have no earthly idea what I'm doing when it comes to cars. Like, even something as, like, so simple as taking your car to go get a service, I have to build it up in my head of being like, oh my God, I have to go into this place that I have no business being in. I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about cars. And I know that I'll say something so dumb that is so stupid because I've built it up in my head about going to a place I've never been before. Or, like, just don't know what... I just have no expertise when it comes to cars. It's like when I drop my car off for a service and they ask me something, I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't know what's going on here. That's just how I am as a person. So, yeah, I go for a run... I know it's only like a 5-minute drive, but I go for a run in a different town than I live.
I got last one, and then we'll hit the numbers up. But Mount Rushmore of TV/movies.
Easy. I can go first for this one.
Do it.
I feel like The Office is the greatest sitcom ever. Parks and Rec, same kind of... I watched Parks and Rec before I ever watched The Office, so I always have, like, a sentimental love. Those are, like, if I'm going to put 2 TV shows up against any others, those are my 2. Actually, I'm going to put 3 TV shows and a movie. Kath and Kim.
Yeah.
I've loved Kath and Kim my whole entire life. I used to have that crap on VHS, and I used to rewind it and just watch it over and over again. Movies, Toy Story 2.
Okay. Yeah.
That's easy to me. I don't even know why that's easy, but I just, like, had that ready.
So, my number 1, I think it's the best TV show ever made, but Ted Lasso.
Still haven't watched it.
Watched it 5 times through already. Greatest TV show ever made. Great TV show. I think you would really love it.
A lot of people have said that to me. It's very witty.
Yeah. Yes, very witty. But it also touches the big issues in a very classy... thoughtful way. My number 2, I call it my safe show because I like to put it on before I go to bed because I know what's going to happen, so I don't get caught up watching it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Again, another show I haven't watched. I know, and I should.
Oh, wow.
Because it's very in that, it's very in the world of, like,
times.
office-y kind of humour. Not The Office, but you know what I mean? It's in that space.
I put Raw in there, WWE Raw.
Oh, I guess
it's something
like
that I watch it. Yeah, I watch it every week.
I don't know why when you said TV, like, for some reason that's not movies and TV, but it is. It's a TV show. It's just different. That lives in its own like section of my brain almost.
Yeah, no,
but I
agree,
do understand.
I chucked it in there anyway. And the other one for me is Hamish and Andy's Gap Year. They're very sentimental to me, and I love Hamish and Andy. I love them, and I love watching the old Gap Years over. Just going back to them on Stan, and
I like that our choices are vastly different, but still somehow are the same.
Yeah, I do love The Office. I love The Office so much. Oh my
God, The Office. I was told years ago that people were like, you need to watch The Office. And I'm like, you love Parks and Rec, you love The Office. And I'm like, man, that first season, it's just so brutal. Yeah. And I could never push past it because it's like midway through season 2 where that show starts getting like really good. But like, I just couldn't push past it. And so many times I tried. And I finally just went, I'm just going to like endure this pain and watch it. And my God, I mean, it has some of the greatest... there's nothing more comfortable in this world to me than watching. I just finished I watch The Office like probably 2 or 3 times a year, like all the way through. And like, I find something about it that I love differently every time. And I'm like, oh my God. And there's just certain little lines that you don't forget. And there's some that you do forget. And then you watch different characters differently every time. Like I can love something about every character in that show. I can just find something about it that I really like. The Office is just
I've got a few shows like that I'll rewatch. Like obviously Ted Lasso, I've watched that one. That's only a new thing, and I've watched it through 3 times already. Brooklyn Nine-Nine probably 12 times.
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
I love those two. And One Tree Hill. I love One Tree Hill.
Oh my God, One Tree Hill. Was that the one with Chad Michael Murray in it?
Yeah, it was.
That's
Lucas
like
Scott.
That's like a very like mid 2000s. Like, oh my God, do you remember the OC?
Yeah, of course I remember the OC.
Oh my God, Dawson's Creek.
Ryan and I didn't so much get into that. One Tree Hill was my one. Basketball mixed with college drama, teenage drama. Sign me up.
Here's a good little question for you with television shows, because I feel like it will. What's your opinion on Friends?
Love it.
Okay.
One of the greatest of all time.
Okay. I used to love it a lot, but I just feel like it's aged really poorly.
Do you? I don't find that much.
I don't know. Like, there's just some things they talk about in that show that's very...
Seinfeld, I find a bit like that, but I like Seinfeld.
I've watched episodes here and there. Like, I know the basis of it, but I've never watched Seinfeld all the way through. Again, it was just way before I was alive, really. But but Friends, even to a certain degree, I've watched Friends plenty of times over. I watched Friends a lot more maybe it's just because I watched it as a kid and I've watched it less as an adult. I don't know. Maybe just my comedy changed, but I guess the only other one that kind of would live in that world, not now, but The Simpsons. I used to love The Simpsons. I think everyone at some point loved The Simpsons. I mean, it's still on to this day. But I couldn't tell you the last new episode of The Simpsons I watched. But
same.
Man, when it was in that chunk of time where it was like, holy crap! It really is. Is The Simpsons a sitcom?
You'd have to. Oh, I don't know.
Because I know it's animated, but I mean, it's a sitcom.
An animated sitcom, maybe.
I guess it's technically. It's the longest running sitcom ever, then, if it is a sitcom. Yeah. There's nothing that's ran longer than that.
No. The thing that changed Friends for me, which gave me a different perspective on it, was I don't know, maybe this time last year read the, what's his name? Matthew
Perry?
Matthew Perry book. Gosh, that was... a difficult read.
Man, he went
that
through
put some different perspective on Friends for me. So when I watch it back now, it gives me a completely different look on Friends. But love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying. I just think it's a different watch for me now than it was then. I guess that's the way I could frame it. I mean, I watched it. The last time I watched it, I was in a hotel room not all that long ago, and I was like, oh. I just remember loving this differently. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe again, I've just grown up a little bit more, and I've just watched it too much. But yeah, I always loved Friends as a kid. But yeah, Friends, I think, will always hold somewhat of a value in that world. But yeah, to me, there's nothing better. Like The Office and Parks and Rec, to me, are just like, they're just exactly my humor. I just love it. There's nothing I'll ever take away from it where I hated that. Like, I just have always loved it. Like, even, like, I finished watching The Office again, I think about a week ago now, roughly. I kind of finished up again, and every time I get to the finale, I'm like, oh. Like, that first time I watched The Office finale, I was like, uh-oh, waterworks, here we go, because it was, what a great finale. And The Office has the greatest wedding ever, and that's Jim and Pam's wedding. What a wedding. Yes. What a wedding.
So should we hit the number generator and get one of these questions down the drain? So 318 questions there are, all icebreaker questions. There's different subcategories of them. I've taken the subcategories out so we don't know which category they're from, so they're going to be random. 318 of them. I'm going to press the generate button now.
So, by the way, I should probably say, the idea for this show going forward, we're just trying to, like, give you a little insight of what we're like and stuff like this for this episode, but we're going to kind of do one, maybe two questions every single episode, and then just kind of let it loose and, again, just kind of hang out and chat, because we just talked about so many different things that weren't anything in relation to some of those questions, because that's just the type of people we are. But that is the kind of basis for this, is just to kind of have a question and then let it
go.
Yeah.
Give it the Frozen treatment. So, generate number, it is 244. So, give me a second while I scroll all the way down to 244.
240. So, like Ray said, there's 318 questions. And, I mean, that can always be an expanding list, guys. Don't worry, we're not limiting ourselves here. But 318 weeks is a long time, so don't worry.
244 is from what looks like the Christmas section of Icebreakers.
Let's go. Christmas in September.
So, 244, what is the most annoying Christmas song ever?
Oh my God.
I feel like there's an easy answer to this, but I also feel like that's not my answer. Because I feel like the easy answer is Mariah Carey.
I would have said that a year ago when I still worked in retail.
Yeah. I'm going to say Silent Night. And I'm going to explain. I'm not just going to bash Silent Night for nothing. But I feel like the people that I feel like the people that are on the Silent Night bandwagon, who that's there, it's a bit pretentious. It's a bit wanky to have your favourite Christmas carol be Silent Night.
I'm going to look up, while you're explaining, I'm going to look up the lyrics to Silent Night.
Is it Silent Night, Holy Night?
I guess it's...
something has come. Something is bright. I don't know.
So it's Silent Night. I'm not going to sing it, but Holy Night. All is calm. All is bright. Round your virgin mother and child. Yeah, okay. I could nearly get in on this. What? I mean... Okay. Christmas carols in general, I genuinely like. I'm a bit of a Christmas nut. I like Christmas. I like the kind of... It's a little bit of a panic for one day, but, like, I like the aesthetic of it. I like being that time of year, I guess. But I don't really... When I hear Christmas carols, I mean, Mariah Carey always comes on. It's always going to come on because, again, I feel like that is just, like, the easy, like, I hate Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't actually.
But one that I do hate, it's a very specific, like, version of this song. I hate Ariana Grande's rendition of Santa Baby.
Oh,
it pisses me off no end. I hear that and I'm like, ugh, please. And I guess I'm not an Ari hater, but that version, I hate it. I could nearly even say that I didn't really like Santa Baby at all.
Yeah. See, I just don't like if you were to watch carols by candlelight, you know all the ones that they get the crusty old farts up to sing?
Yes.
Or, like, you wouldn't catch the Wiggles singing it, or you wouldn't catch Michael Bublé probably would.
Bublé's in his own category for Christmas stuff, though.
Yeah, just the crusty old wankery people singing those, like, there's one about Noel or something. I don't know. Just those old pretentious ones.
Yeah, those I can kind of get on board with that, though. I like what Christmas carols are fun. Like, I want to hear Jingle Bell Rock, like Mean Girls Jingle Bell Rock, like Sign Me Up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But like, I don't want to hear like the ones where they stand like this and like they just like are holier than thou.
Yep.
Those ones, yeah, those can get in the bin. I'm not really into.
I love a Christmas carol that's silly and catchy, and Rudolph with his nose so bright.
Yeah, like okay, sign
Santa
me up for
Claus.
those.
Yeah, those ones I'm here for. The old pretentious ones, they're the annoying ones.
Are you a bit of a? Do you like Christmas in general?
So I have a theory about Christmas, right?
Oh God.
So, especially for me, Christmas has had like its ups and downs with what I think. So I think as a kid you love Christmas. I think you sort of get to 16 to, well, maybe even 14 to 18, and Christmas is something else. It's like a little bit exciting, but it's not the same. Then 18 to maybe 20 is a different category again. Then Christmas is completely different until, for my case, I had kids, because then you get excited because they're excited, and then you live through their excitement. But for you, it's just Christmas. Like, although I did think, it's just Christmas, and went away one Christmas, and I was over in Europe for Christmas, and I called back on.
You were Christmas with the Cranks. Remember that movie with with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen?
No.
Do you remember Christmas with the Cranks? They decided they were just going to skip Christmas one year, and they were going to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, so went over to Europe for Christmas and rang home on Christmas Day to say Merry Christmas to everyone, and then I was a bit like, oh, Christmas is still going ahead without me. I'm not that important actually after all.
Christmas is... Oh, but I do understand that, because I have a half-brother who's way younger than me. Like, he's only just turned 13. So, like, the last, 10 years, we've all kind of, as siblings, been able to experience Christmas, you know what I mean, again, because, we're all older than him. So, these last few years, it's been fun to be you got to be at Mum's house by 8 a.m. because my little brother wants to open presents, and then because Mum, I should say because Santa likes to keep the spirit alive, he also gets us presents, and then you kind of go through that kind of stuff as well. But now he's gotten to that age where it's this is probably going to be the first year of Christmas where it's just it's still Christmas, you know what I mean? But it's not the same. It is very different.
My theory is that Christmas comes in patterns depending on your stage of life. So
no, I can because there is that period of time when you almost feel like you're too cool for Christmas. You're like, I'm too old to care about Christmas. But then you kind of, I don't know, you fall out of that pattern too, because now I get excited for Christmas because A, I'm probably going to get some money, and B, it's just a day that you can just day drink and eat food and just kind of, you don't have to worry about your job.
Yeah. It's
just a good time of year just to hang out. And I have a relatively small family in terms we don't have a big extended family. So I just get to hang out with people that I see pretty often anyway. And we just all just get to chill at my mum's house and just eat a ton of food. I mean, can't really hate that, can you? I mean,
no.
Mum, every mum makes pretty bitchin' food, so I get excited for that.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess there you go. Old crusty pretentious Christmas songs is the answer, I guess.
Get them out of here.
And Ariana stuff.
Yeah, sorry, Grande, you're on that.
We're Team Pete Davidson.
I guess so. Man, he has a set of lips on him, doesn't he? He's got a real weird mouth. Good for him. He's rich as all hell. But
he's got something going for him.
Yeah, because he was with what's her face too, wasn't he?
Kimmy K.
Kimmy Kardashian. She was riding the Davidson train for a little while, but I guess he's got something going for him. Good for him, I guess.
Way to go, Pete.
What is he? Is he just Saturday Night Live? Is that what he's famous for?
Oh, he's a stand-up comedian as well.
Okay.
Quite good. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good for him. Is he just... Yeah, okay. I think he's on a... Doesn't he have like a television show now?
Yes.
Am I making that up?
It's like a sitcom about a reality show about him. I think it's scripted, but it's also like trying to give the impression that it's not scripted.
Does he play himself?
Yeah. Yes, he does.
Cool. Good for him.
Way to go.
Is he still... No, Kimmy K is with someone else now, isn't she?
No, who knows? I don't...
She's in American Horror Story. I seen that the other day. I'm like, what is going on? And Paw Patrol. I was like, Kim Kardashian's in Paw Patrol? What land are we on? I don't know what universe
now she's just ruined my son's favourite show.
Yeah, so now you're going to have to get on the Kimmy K bandwagon because she's in Paw Patrol. Nah, Kardashians never really did it for me either. Never really got that. They're just... I mean, I want their money. Good for them.
Yes.
They're very rich. But yeah, I never got on the Kardashians of just like... What's going on here? I don't really think I ever got into the E channel unless it was Total Divas.
No, me either. I'm not an E channel kind of guy.
No, reality TV. There's some elements of it. I used to froth Jersey Shore. Yeah. Jersey Shore was my...
I was a Geordie Shore guy.
Oh yeah, Geordie Shore, Wanger, whatever the fuck it says. I really don't know. Whatever it says. But yeah, like those, like Jersey Shore to me was just like... What is this trash? When that show first started, I was like year 11, year 10. So like I was right in that sweet spot of watching MTV. That changed my life. Like what the hell was that time? It was amazing.
Exactly. Well, looks like that was the first one in the books. I mean, I don't know how to end it. We've started it pretty...
We started it casually. I guess we could probably say that for the first one and stuff like that, we're setting up all our socials and stuff like that so you can follow the show on, I still call it Twitter, but if you want to call it X, be my guest, call it X.
The artist formerly known as X.
Yes, formerly known as X. So
Twitter.
we're gonna have this show available wherever you're listening to this on all kind of audio outlets. We're going to have this show on my YouTube as well, so you can go and find it there. And if you're wondering why we called this show what we called it, which is Apples to Oranges, is because we feel like we're both pieces of fruit in a sense, but we're different. We're very different, as you can probably tell, which you might not be able to tell from this episode, but as this show progresses, you can probably tell that we're going to have very different life experiences and just takes on life. But that's why we called it Apples to Oranges. I don't even think we said the name of the show in this whole thing, but you can see the title, and who really gives a...
If you're driving, it's on your dashboard.
Exactly. So, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sure that I'll have some branding on there where there's an apple and an orange. I don't know who the apple and who the orange is in this situation, but... You can be the judge of that. You guys can you can tell us.
We'll put a poll up and then we'll
and then we'll see each other who's the apple, who's the orange. But if you want to follow me anywhere, I guess I'll just say this in the first episode. I'm pretty much everywhere that you would follow someone is Josh Robinson _00. Come hang out with me on Twitch. I like being on Twitch. It's really stupid. I do some stupid stuff on Twitch.
I do enjoy your PLE previews on Twitch. I sat down and watched that on Sunday. That was good fun.
We're just idiots on that shit. And that game is just like... We're talking about wrestling, by the way, people. The 2K WWE games. But yeah, so come hang out with me on Twitter or Twitch or TikTok. Or TikTok, I'm pretty wild, so I guess hang out with me there. But yeah, pretty much everywhere at Josh Robinson _00.
And I'm not too much fun to follow on social media, but...
That's not true.
I don't do a lot.
You vibe with me on social media.
Yes, but, you know, the Project women's season, if you follow football, hit us up. And then I'm sure we're going to, you know, get a bit more stuff of this out and see where it goes and, you know...
We're just very bare bones at the moment, guys. We know we're just kind of seeing how this works because, hey, me and Ray might do a few episodes of this show and be like, I actually hate you. I think you're a terrible human being. So, like, get out of my life. Probably not.
We just got to get to the 20. We just got to get to the 20.
We got to
beat the 3%.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to be just a mere statistic in the world of podcasting. But yeah, hang out with us. We're going to be dropping this every Friday. Like I said, it's going to be both available on video and audio. So if you feel like you're one of those people that has to watch something, you can go and watch us. Or if you're just one of those people that can just vibe out and you're not a visual kind of person, you can just listen to us on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever. Apple Music. I don't use Apple Music. I use Spotify.
Apple Podcast.
Is it Apple Podcast? I don't even know. See, that's what I mean. I use everything with Spotify. So, but you can hang out with us pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. Pretty much. You can. Is there anything else you want to add?
Nah. Let's also
just reach out to us. By the way, I should say that. Just hit us up. Be like, talk about this. Me and Ray probably will.
Yeah, I could talk about anything, and from either side of the argument as well. I have this fun thing that I like to do at work is when two people are arguing, I pick whichever side I think is going to be funniest to be on and attack the other person.
Ray, you're one of those pot stirrers.
Yes.
Yeah, hell correct. Yeah. I appreciate that, to be completely honest. Well, I guess that's going to do us for this episode.
Yes, it is.
I'm horrible at ending a show. I'm just like,
let's
bye,
just say goodbye. Yeah, bye. See you.
Bye.
I'm going to press stop recording now.
Hell yeah.
We'll speak to you next time. Stopping.
Cool.